Welcome back to Island Opinions, where we look at nostalgic games with a critical lens, but always with love. In today's episode, we're talking about a very divisive entry in the Mario Party series, Mario Party 9. The game that completely changed the rules, quite literally. This was the first Mario Party title not developed by Hudson Soft, the creators of the series since its beginnings. Instead, it was handed off to ND Cube. And with that came a wave of new ideas, experiments, and let's be honest, some questionable design choices. So, was Mario Party 9 a bold step forward or just a party foul? Let's dive in. To really understand what made Mario Party 9 so different, we need to go back. In classic Mario Party titles, the gameplay was built around a free-roaming board. Each player had their own route, could make choices at intersections, strategize based on their coins and star count, and basically carve out their own game. There was a healthy mix of strategy and skill. You had to win mini-games, manage your economy, and read the board like a chess match. Sure, luck played a role, but you felt in control. Then came Mario Party 9, and suddenly everyone's in the same car. Literally. All 4 players move together in one vehicle across a linear track, start to finish, with no freedom of movement. Each turn, a new player becomes the captain and rolls the dice for the group. The goal isn't to collect stars anymore. Instead, you gather mini-stars scattered along the path and lose them to hazards or traps. Each board now ends with a boss battle and a midway mini-boss, which is actually one of the most refreshing ideas the game introduces. But overall, the new system felt less like a party and more like a guided tour. But let's give credit where credit is definitely due. Compared to its predecessor, Mario Party 8, which suffered from jagged visuals, inconsistent art direction, and some awkward motion control gimmicks, Mario Party 9 was a noticeable step forward in terms of presentation. The graphics were polished, vibrant, and surprisingly modern for a Wii title. In fact, the game shared a similar aesthetic to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, borrowing not just the colorful, clean look, but even reusing some assets, like the Fortress sprites. It created a real sense of cohesion across Nintendo's Wii-era titles. What really helped sell the world of Mario Party 9 were its board designs. Each one felt thoughtfully crafted and visually distinct. You had the fiery tension of Magma Mine, the industrial energy of Bob-omb Factory, and even more playful or mysterious settings that gave the game a sense of adventure. These boards weren't just backdrops, they had atmosphere. You could feel the heat, the danger. And let's talk about the music, because it's honestly underrated. Every board came with its own thematic soundtrack that perfectly matched the setting, from energetic factory rhythms to ominous volcanic themes. The music wasn't just background noise, it added immersion, personality, and momentum to each match. But here's where things start to fall apart, and it's a bit of a frustrating contradiction. On one hand, Mario Party 9 delivers a wonderfully polished experience in terms of visuals and sound. The game feels like a party, colorful, lively, full of energy. But on the other hand, when you actually start playing, you realize something's off. And it all comes down to how the game handles strategy and control, or rather, how it removes them. Traditionally, Mario Party has always walked a delicate line between skill and luck. You had to think ahead on the board, choose the best route to reach a star, outsmart your opponents, and perform well in minigames. Sure, there was always randomness, but that randomness was sprinkled in to keep things fresh. In Mario Party 9, however, that balance is seriously skewed. Let's be generous and say it's about 30% skill, mostly found in the mini-games and some boss battles, and a whopping 70% pure luck. And that's largely due to the group movement system. Everyone travels together in a shared vehicle, taking turns as captain. This completely removes the classic Mario Party feel of individual strategy on a free-roaming board. You can't plan your route. You can't choose to avoid traps or go for alternate rewards. You're at the mercy of whoever is in control, and often, random events decide your fate more than anything you do. You might gain or lose mini-stars just by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You might land on a brutal event space through no fault of your own. You might get hit with a huge setback, not because of a bad choice, but because someone else rolled the wrong number. Thankfully, when it comes to the minigames, Mario Party 9 absolutely pulls through. This is one area where the game genuinely shines. And that's saying something, especially when you compare it to its predecessor, Mario Party 8. Now, Mario Party 8 wasn't without charm, but let's be real. It leaned way too hard on the Wii's motion controls, often at the expense of precision. Swinging the remote wildly to win didn't always feel satisfying or fair. Mario Party 9, by contrast, takes a much smarter approach. It brings back a balanced variety of minigame styles, and most of them are well-designed, responsive, and, most importantly, fun to play. There are reaction-based challenges like Don't Look. In this minigame, players have to quickly tilt their heads in the opposite direction of an arrow that appears. Simple, but it really tests your reflexes under pressure. Fast-paced, intense, and great for laughs. Then you've got the skill-based platformers like Skyjinx. This one places players on a series of floating cloud platforms, racing to stay ahead without falling. The visual design feels like a nod to New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and it plays just as cleanly. It's a true test of timing and movement. Classic Mario challenge. There are also collection-based games like Piranha Patch. Here, players dash around an open field trying to collect flowers while avoiding aggressive piranha plants that pop out of the ground. It's fast, chaotic, and surprisingly strategic as you try to outpace your opponents while staying safe. And yes, motion controls do make an appearance, but this time they feel much more refined. Pizza Me Mario, for example. Each player flicks toppings onto a rotating pizza, trying to cover as much surface as possible. It's goofy, but it actually works. The motion feels responsive and mostly accurate. Beyond the main party mode, Mario Party 9 actually has a few extra modes and features that help round out the overall experience, even if they didn't get as much attention as the core gameplay. For starters, there's a museum, where you can unlock collectibles using points earned during play. It's not particularly deep, but for completionists it adds a bit of extra incentive to keep grinding through matches. Then there's the Donkey Kong board, a secret unlockable stage that adds a fun twist. Instead of collecting mini-stars, you're grabbing bananas as you make your way through the course. The setting is tropical and lighthearted, and the rule changes are small but refreshing. It's a nice break from the main boards and adds just enough novelty to feel worthwhile. You can also unlock and equip custom vehicles for your group to ride in. These are purely cosmetic, but they offer a touch of personality. And let's be honest, racing through Magma Mine in a giant chain chomp is kinda hilarious. Some of the minigame modes are quite fun to play. Take High Rollers, for example. This competitive mode has players roll around a small board filled with numbered point tiles, each worth 30, 20, or 10 points. But here's the catch. Once a tile is stepped on, its value decreases by 10. After all players have moved, the board resets, but timing your movement to land on high-value spaces becomes crucial. Then there's Garden Battle, a surprisingly creative and charming side mode. In this one, players compete to fill a garden with flower-shaped puzzle pieces, which are chosen based on your placement in the previous minigame. First place gets first pick, and last goes last. If there's a tie, no one places a piece that round, adding tension and unpredictability. It's kind of like a Tetris-style puzzle game meets Mario Party. You have to think ahead about what pieces will fit where, while also trying to dominate the minigames to maintain your advantage. So, where does Mario Party 9 really stand? It's a bold reinvention, and to ND Cube's credit, they weren't afraid to shake things up. The game looks fantastic with polished visuals and vibrant board designs. The soundtrack is a total highlight, with each track adding charm and personality to its respective stage. And let's not forget, the minigames? Genuinely solid, fun, varied, and responsive. But at the heart of the Mario Party experience is that balance between skill, strategy, and a dash of chaos. The shared car mechanic strips away individual strategy. The randomness of events, mini-star swings, and dice rolls makes it hard to feel in control, or even invested, in how the game unfolds. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Island Opinions, where nostalgia meets a little bit of critique. If you made it all the way to the end, first of all, you're a legend. And second, you clearly enjoy content like this. So why not hit subscribe and join the party? There's plenty more where this came from. Deep dives, retrospectives, and maybe even a few spicy takes on other childhood favorites. And until next time, stay chill, stay curious, and I'll see you soon on Slowed Reverb Island.